I think it's simple though. Grew up watching Dr. J, Magic, Mike, played with Kobe and all that. So I know what greatness looks like. So you want me to see this now and call it greatness? I can't. And I think it's my fault that the game is being played the way it's played now, because when I was dominating the post, you tried to bring in centers to bring me out from the post. And then we're all products of our generation, so shoot the jumper. So it's my fault that guys are playing soft.
Anthony Edwards sparked a major reaction across the basketball world after claiming that Larry Bird didn't really have much skill and suggesting that most players from the 1980s couldn't compete at a high level aside from Michael Jordan, a statement that quickly drew heavy backlash, especially from Shaquille O'Neal, who clearly didn't take it lightly. The comments were seen as disrespectful to past legends and reignited debate about how modern players view older eras of the game, with Shaq's response and further reactions from fans and analysts highlighting just how controversial Edwards' take really was.
Watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, you know what I mean? That's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my God, but now everybody has.
Anthony Edwards stirred controversy after claiming that Larry Bird had no skill, despite Bird's legendary confidence, elite shooting displays like dominating the three-point contest, and his famous ability to call his shots before sinking them in defenders' faces. The remarks hit even harder because Edwards admitted he hasn't really watched old-school NBA games, meaning he was commenting on a player he never fully studied. Before even getting to Shaquille O'Neal's response, many fans pointed out Bird's accomplishments on the court, making Edwards' statement sound even more controversial and sparking a wider debate about respect for past NBA legends.
Bird comes in and says, which one of you is going to come in second place? Nobody said nothing.
Larry Bird was so dominant that, according to stories from his era, opponents already expected the outcome before games even began, with entire locker rooms staying quiet because they believed he was going to win regardless. That level of confidence wasn't just talk. It reflected how consistently he controlled games with elite shooting and precision execution. Bird didn't rely on words alone. He repeatedly backed everything up on the court, and many fans argue that his style and skill set would still challenge modern players and make even today's top talent look ordinary in comparison.
He said, I'm gonna wait till you get one step away from me and I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. No, true story. So I got one step away. He shoots it all net, 3-pointer, good. Then he turned to me and said, you did all that running for nothing.
Larry Bird was known for his extreme confidence and psychological edge, even telling defenders exactly what he was about to do before executing it perfectly, like calling a shot and then calmly knocking down a clean three-pointer without hesitation. That combination of precision and mind games made him more than just a scorer. It turned him into a constant presence inside opponents' heads throughout every possession. He maintained that level of control from start to finish, never easing up, and regularly backed up his trash talk with flawless execution. This is the same type of player Anthony Edwards referred to when making his controversial no-skill comment, which is why the reaction to his statement was so strong.
He walked off and said, legend.
Larry Bird was known for his calm, business-like approach after making big plays. No celebrations or extra flair, just pure execution and walking away as if it was routine, which added to his intimidating presence on the court. That kind of dominance is why reactions to comments from Anthony Edwards calling him unskilled were so strong, especially since players who actually faced Bird have repeatedly praised his elite skill level and competitive control, making those remarks feel disrespectful to many fans and former players.
That's flagrantly disrespectful to the old guard. Larry Bird wasn't skilled.
Magic.
Isaiah Thomas was one of the greatest skilled guards in the history of basketball. Magic Johnson was 6'9", a 6'9" point guard. We had never seen anything like.
Larry Bird earned widespread respect for winning 3 consecutive MVP awards during one of the most competitive eras in NBA history, competing against legends like Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Isaiah Thomas, and Julius Erving, which is why Anthony Edwards' unskilled comment drew so much backlash, especially since he admitted he never really studied that era. For many, it came off as a lack of appreciation for basketball history. And interestingly, Bird himself has even addressed comparisons between eras in a way that surprised people by not feeding into the usual debate narrative.
Every decade's different. The game changes. They always try to compare players now to back in the 80s and 70s, which you cannot do. It's a whole different ballgame.
Larry Bird responded to era comparisons in a calm way, explaining that it's difficult to directly compare different generations because the game evolves over time, with each decade playing under different styles and conditions. Still, the broader message many took from his stance was that respecting the players who built the game is an important part of basketball culture, something critics felt Anthony Edwards overlooked with his comments. That's also what pulled Shaquille O'Neal into the discussion. And when Shaq reacted, he came in with strong, direct criticism rather than holding back, clearly pushing back against the idea of dismissing past legends.
I think it's simple, though. Grew up watching Dr. J, Magic, Mike, played with Kobe and all that. So I know what greatness looks like. So you want me to see it now and call it greatness? I can't.
Shaquille O'Neal built his perspective from first-hand experience at the highest level of the game, playing alongside Kobe Bryant during a dominant championship run and competing directly against Michael Jordan, which is why he strongly pushed back when modern-era comments dismissed past generations as lacking skill. From his point of view, he wasn't speculating, but speaking from having witnessed that level of greatness up close. And when critics labeled his stance as bitterness or hating, Shaq firmly rejected that framing and stood by his argument about the quality and competitiveness of the older NBA eras.
You ain't great and I'm great. How the f can I hate on you? That don't make no sense. I'm in the building. You're not in.
Shaquille O'Neal pointed to his own career resume for NBA championships and 3 finals MVPs as proof that his perspective comes from someone who reached the very top of the sport, not from an outside opinion. From that standpoint, he pushed back on the idea that his criticism of the modern game was hate, arguing instead that it comes from experience at the highest level of competition. He also made a clear distinction between players he respects and the rest of the league, suggesting only a small number truly meet that elite standard in his view, while implying that many others don't measure up to the level of dominance he witnessed and helped define during his own career.
Joker could play, Giannis could play, Dame, a couple of these guys could play, but a lot of these can't play.
Shaquille O'Neal shifted the tone of the discussion by acknowledging that the evolution of the game wasn't only about today's players, but also partly influenced by him and his era.
And I think it's my fault the game is being played the way it's played now, because when I was dominating the post, you tried to bring in centers to bring me out from the post. And then we're all products of our generation, so shoot the jumper. So it's my fault that guys are playing soft.
Essentially admitting that the style of basketball has changed over time due to forces he helped shape during his own dominant career.